what did you learn about your team during those two Boston games?
Well, one, their poise and demeanor throughout the whole game was something that was a sign of growth. You have to tip your hat highly to what Boston was able to do. You know, the level of elite shot making, you know, they hit a lot of tough shots. We missed a lot of easy open ones, but it was a great, you know, gauge for where we are and what the things that we're capable of doing. But seeing a team at that level is good for us to recognize in that moment.
Yeah, to that point, is it a good time to play a team like Boston and Milwaukee and Miami for that matter? Great teams that have done it before, to kind of give you some ideas of what you can do going forward?
I think it's a great opportunity for this group to see what these teams that have been in the finals do, the teams that have won at a high level for quite some time and have age and experience on their side. It's great for our group to figure out what it means to really win in this league, to continue to learn, to continue to grow, to continue to push each other and know how they have to communicate and how they have to play on a regular basis, you know, to achieve these things.
I know you talked about how these kind of baseball series give a little bit of a feel for what a playoff series might be like, especially going up against a team like Boston. How do you think they handled that aspect of it, adjusting between games and even kind of understanding, like, you know, Boston's also going to make some adjustments and change something?
Well, you know, that first game, you know, they had some bodies out, so it was a different type of adjustment. You'd have to go back to almost the in-season tournament to look at, you know, them with Porzingis on the floor and Horford on the floor, you know, no Drew Holiday, which makes a world of a difference for that team. But I thought our guys did an excellent job of communicating the things that they felt and saw during the game, understanding the intensity, the physicality, and they adjusted accordingly. Again, you got to tip your hat to what Boston was able to do, but our guys being able to communicate the things that they saw and felt throughout the game is working our way to another level.
What level of work is Wendell Carter able to do today, and where do things stand with him?
He was able to go through a little bit more practice, a little bit of contact, just being able to see what he felt, you know, through some of the drills defensively and offensively, and we're going to just see how he pulls up and feels tomorrow.
And Markelle Fultz, what amount of work was he able to do today?
Markelle was not. He went through some things, but you know, he's gonna be probably a little bit longer in that. We won't put a timetable on it, but you know, we're going to continue to evaluate him as he goes through a couple more practice and see how he feels.
So Wendell's potentially closer? Or?
I would say Wendell's potentially closer, yes.
What challenges does this Heat team present you guys?
You know, they do a great job of flying around, that same level of physicality that we saw within Boston and Cleveland. We're going to see a lot of that from them. They have smart basketball players that can manipulate the defense, as well as they put a pressure on your offense the way in which they play. So they're an experienced team, and it's a great opportunity for our guys to feel and experience, you know, what this is like.
One more, how's Joe doing?
Joe did not go through practice today. So he's just to continue to just, you know, clean some things up and make sure he's going to be 100% the next time he touches the floor.
The bench, I know not having Joe on Sunday probably hurt that bench group, but the bench group had a little bit of a rough weekend overall. But they've been one of the big strengths of this team. What did you see from them maybe this weekend that maybe led to some of their struggles, and how important are they to this team's success?
Well, you know, you have to credit what Boston did, and I think you have to give, you know, the level of respect that to them, but also knowing like that's the respect that we're receiving. Teams are recognizing how good that unit is, so they know exactly how they have to play, how physical they need to be, what they need to disrupt, and teams are doing a very good job of that. But one thing about our group is that we'll continue to make adjustments to that. They recognize what they need to do, how they need to do it, the way in which we need to play. That has had them successful for the early part of the season.
And how big of a part is Joe Ingles for that second unit in your success? Like, how badly was he missed?
He's a very big part of that unit. You know, the way he brings a level of poise, demeanor, and you know what you see with he and Mose pick and roll. You know, they dice defenses apart. So I think it's just taking a moment to be able to help how these groups can tie together even differently. Now it's just going to be different when he's not on the floor at times, and you know we've got to be able to adjust to how teams are playing it. But I think this is a group that is willing and wanting to do that.
The road games and the holiday, is that tough in this profession, or did you just go with the
It goes with the territory. You would love to be at home, with your family during these times, but understanding this is part of the territory of what we've signed up for. But it doesn't take away when we are home how much the quality time is important, and then being in the community and giving back and taking care of those around us. I think that's the important part when you are home and able to do it. But then when you get on the road, you band together even more as a group to be able to celebrate with one another.
All-Star voting opened up this morning. There's more conversations about some of your guys potentially getting representation in that game. Just how special is it now to see these young guys sort of taking the next step in their career?
I think it should be. I think there's guys that should get a ton of votes. These guys are playing very good basketball. They're playing for each other. They're playing the right way. And it's not about the individual award, and this team will talk about that a ton. It's about what the group does, but it is great that they are being recognized for the work that they're putting in, and that it shows throughout the league and their peers.
You've got a lot of small in-game mix with Jalen and Joe and Paolo. Do you maybe use a little bit more caution now that you're 20 or so games into the season and Miles is starting to pick up on these guys?
We got to play one game at a time, and that's what we've talked about over and over again. If you look too far forward, you're getting away from the moment. And I think we have to stay in the moment with this group that we have, and if guys are willing and able to go, we push and we do the things that we need to do for that game in particular.
About a quarter of the way in the season, are you do you think that your expectations are meeting where this team is at the moment?
I think we've played some very good basketball. I think our guys are understanding the message that we've sent. Defensively, we can continue to pick it up even more so. I think the flow and the chemistry of our offense is moving in the right direction. The guys are doing a great job communicating with each other, understanding what's needed in game at certain times. So there's a great chemistry and energy about the group right now, so I'm very pleased where we are, and there's going to be continued growth, and we just have to keep moving forward with that. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
The film from the last 2 games in Boston, what did you learn about your group that needs to get cleaned up?
Just keeping our poise and just weathering the storm. The first game, I think it was an emotional roller coaster. Got off to a great start. And then, we kind of looked at the film. We kind of did a lot of gambling, made a lot of our own mistakes that we could clean up from. And in that second game, I think I liked our poise. I liked how we came out. We weren't as up and down emotionally. And they made some tough shots. And we watched the film today and just really trusting the process over results. Just continue to doing the right thing. We did a lot of great things in that game. And they're the best team in the East right now for a reason. So, we just kind of take that, learn from it, and then try to get back on the winning streak here against Miami.
How key is it to kind of handle the opposing team's runs when they make them? Obviously, Boston went on some good runs there in the second half.
Basketball is a game of runs, especially in the TD Garden. It's an electric place. The crowd gets loud, and that's a tough place to play. So just hearing that noise and that playoff atmosphere, I think is something that we just got to get used to and embrace. We're going to be playing a lot of environments like that, especially here towards the end of the year. So just continue to prepare for that, prepare for those moments, and continue to just learn to figure out ways to get better each day, whether we win or whether we lose.
Coaches called these kind of little baseball series that you have as maybe little preps for the playoffs, you learn how to make adjustments. But Boston really seemed to be able to take you guys out of what you wanted to do and adjust. How valuable was that experience to kind of feel that a little bit, and what does the team need to learn as maybe you're looking to prepare for?
Just to grow. You got to understand the sense of urgency we're playing in. You look at some of the quotes they said. They felt like that was one of the biggest games they had for the year, and they prepped for that. They prepared for that. Just going against a team with such playoff experience together. They've been at it each other. Especially these past 3 years, they've been really competing and making that push in the East, and just really being able to learn from them and just learning how they come together, how they learn how to play with each other, be in each of the spots and play for each other, and just continue to weather the storm and continue to play defense. And, we continue to stick to those things and continue to work on getting better. I like where we're going to be towards the end of the year.
Coach said after the second game that you guys are doing the right things to find the right shots, they're just not solid. Do you think that's the case for you in terms of finding your shots?
Me personally, you make some, you miss some. So, recently I've been missing a lot of shots. So, I don't look at it as anything. Just continue to take the shots when you get them, especially if they're good shots. Continue to put the work in. You know how it goes. Basketball is a game of runs, and you can get hot or you can get cold. So just continue to stay even keel, not really worrying about it, and continue to take other shots when you get them.
What challenges does Heat team present to you guys?
Who?
The Heat. What challenges do they present?
Another hard-nosed playoff team. A lot of guys with a lot of playoff experience, especially playing together. And You know, they're going to be a tough, hard-nosed team. You know, they fly around defensively. We're going to have to be on the same page, and you know, we got to continue to hold down home court like we've been doing all year.
The bench for this team has been one of the highest scoring benches in the league. Over the weekend, it was a bit of a struggle. You know, Boston's a really strong team overall, but how much pride do you guys take in how good that second unit is, and what maybe do you need to see adjusted as now you move past these Boston guys?
I think we know how good we can be. I mean, I think you know, Boston tipped their hats off. They had a great game plan, a great adjustment. So definitely they had things we can learn from that. But just missing Joe helped too. I mean, that definitely hurt us. Joe does a great job of, you know, running the offense, making sure getting back in the right spots, and, you know, moving that ball around. So, you know, getting Joe back definitely helps with that. But I think our second unit, we're confident who we are as a second unit. You know, we're one of the best second units in the league. And just continue to do whatever we can to, you know, help the first unit and for us to all work together and try to get these wins.
How valuable is it for you guys to be able to get this test against some of those Eastern Conference powerhouses right now?
I mean, it's part of it. I mean, it's just, you know, we're working towards the end of the season, so everything we go through is a test. You know, whether we're playing a top team in the East or a bottom team in the West, I mean, it doesn't matter. You know, just continue to have respect for each opponent and just continue to work on internally and continue to play to our standard and worrying about ourselves, and we continue to do that. That's how we get better.
Those Heat Magic games last year brought a different kind of energy in the arena. How much are y'all looking to use the crowd as part of y'all's advantage for tomorrow?
Oh, looking forward to it. You know, I remember the Let's Go Heat chance that we were getting in Amway, you know what I'm saying, a few years back. So just looking forward to, you know, having that home support and having that crowd out there and continue to hold down home court. Just taking pride and, you know, winning in front of our fans.
All-Star voting opened up this morning. I know, you know, with the high record you guys have, Paulo and Franz are getting more attention. You know, how awesome is it just to see it as a vet, those guys now starting to get the recognition and maybe a chance for their first All-Star?
I think it's a testament just to our team and our organization. You know, those guys are tremendous players. We all knew that. But just to see the group success of winning, you know, winning, you know, puts a microscope on everybody. So us winning has given them the opportunity for more people to see that, for more people to know who they are, for them to know their names, and for them to get more voting. So, you know, I think those dudes are more than worthy, and we got to keep winning games for them so they can get there.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
That we still got a lot to learn. You know, we have an exciting group. We play really hard, but there's still steps that we need to take late in games. How do we play from behind? That's a learning curve. And so we just got to continue to put the pieces together. You got to tip your hat to Boston. They made tough shots throughout the entire night. Something you got to just live with at the end of the day. You know, Brown and Tatum making shots like that, and, you know, other guys getting involved. So we can do a better job defensively, but, you know, I feel like we played, you know, pretty well. And it's just how can we find that next level, you know, inside of each and every one of us.
Because of the start you guys have gotten off to, do you sense when you're playing these other elite teams, they're taking you maybe more seriously, playing you harder?
As they should. And so that's what we expect, that's what we want, and we're going to continue to get better.
What challenges did this Miami Heat team present to you guys heading into tomorrow night's game?
They're a junkyard team. You know, they play really hard just like us. And so I'm not sure how well they're doing offensively. And so this is going to be a kind of dog it out game. We're going to hustle and we're going to play hard and see whose defense can prevail. And you know, hopefully we make our shots and we continue to take steps forward offensively as well.
How are you feeling physically?
I'm really getting there. I'm starting to feel better and better. Ankle's not bothering me at all now, so I'm looking to continue to keep moving forward.
How much did the second unit miss Joe Ingles in that second game?
He helps a lot. He just, you know, he definitely plays slower, but he's methodical. And him and Mo in the pick and roll really opens up our game, you know, overall. Me and him in the pick and roll as well. So it's tough to see him go down, but we got to continue to, you know, move forward, and he'll be back soon. I think we're getting Wendell back as well here coming up soon, so we're moving in the right direction.
What's impressed you from the minutes Caleb Houston has provided off the bench?
What's impressed me the most is his defense. You know, he's tried his best to come in and not just be a shooter, but come in and really, you know, be a part of the defensive unit and make stops. He had some great defensive possessions last night against Drew and Pritchard, and so we just got to, you know, continue to get him folded in, and he's professional and he's ready when he's ready.
You mentioned a little bit about Joe being absent. The second unit's been one of the better second units in the league. Do you guys take that as sort of a point of pride that you guys can come in and expand that lead, extend leads and expand leads?
Yeah, absolutely. Extend leads, go and get leads. And so it's been important to us, and we definitely take pride in it. And you know, in that Boston game, we could have did a better job in the second unit, and we're looking to bounce back against Miami.
What did you make of Paulo Banchero's hot start in that first quarter?
He's elite. He's elite. He made tough shots when we really needed it. If he didn't have the game that he had, it probably would have been a lot worse for us. And he kept us in the game, throughout. So kudos to him, and he's going to continue to get better.
We saw, you've been in the playoff series before,
Right.
but I know coaches kind of look at some of these kind of baseball series that you guys have had as a chance to kind of get a little bit of a feel for playoff series. What was maybe Boston's maybe the first real heavy playoff team that you faced in that kind of a series, but what did you guys kind of feel or take away from that experience, especially the adjustments that you maybe made that worked or didn't work between the two games?
Yeah, I think one thing we're going to look at is how to keep our matchups. Either with me guarding Tatum or Brown. Sometimes they set that pick and roll with a small guard, and you got to switch, and it's tough. And so trying to find ways to kind of junk up the game and get us to stay on our rotations and stay on our men. And then I'd say the importance of a home ground advantage. The crowd is a motivator for them, and there was a point where we were having our momentum, and the crowd was quiet, and then they made one momentum play, and the crowd is back in it, and it's tough. It makes a difference, and so we'll have to continue to get better at playing against home crowds, especially when it gets to playoff time.
When you play these top tier teams, how much of it is your game plan, Orlando's game plan, versus defending them, the other opponent?
Well, our game plan is defending them. I think we're a great defensive team and a defense first team, and so we go into every game about how can we disrupt what they're doing, and then how can we be efficient on offense as well. Appreciate it.